Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time of the day it is that you're listening to this. My name is Yvette Wanzu, and welcome back to the Walking with Wanzu podcast. How are you? How have you been? Has life been kind to you? It's been treating you good? Tough times? I'm sending you love and hugs nonetheless. Welcome back to the podcast. Enjoy listening. Hello. Welcome back to the podcast. Thank you so much for all the feedback I have been getting from the previous episodes. If you haven't caught up with the other episodes, imagine you're losing out. So I would love it for you to just go back and check all the other previous conversations that we have had. But now, without further ado, I don't know why that statement reminds me of high school. Like during assembly, there was always a teacher who was going to say, mine is just to say something small. I don't have much, and without further ado. Welcome back to the podcast. How are you guys doing? How is life treating you? We are in the thick of Nairobi winter, and struggling is an understatement for me. First of all, tell me why my wardrobe is made up of summer pieces. So the way I'm struggling to put things together for work is not yani, is an issue. And then I don't enjoy layering. Me, I like to wear a few clothes. The fewer clothes I wear, the happier I am. If I can just wake up in the morning, throw on a cute little dress and I'm out. If I can wake up in the morning, do like some nice shorts and a top, that's my ideal kind of dressing for my ideal kind of weather, which is like summer but not too cold, like we're trying to fry and shine. It's just that perfect heat that can just let you shine and prosper. And the way this cold is going is just out here obstructing glory, but it's a normal routine of nature, and we just have to let nature strike its balance. So it's okay, it's welcome. I just hope it comes and goes very quickly, because well, it's rough. It's rough. And then also if you're single, please cover yourself with the blood of Jesus and sleep. This is the weather that people make decisions that will land them becoming parents. So if you're single, me, I'll even give you a plug. I love my mint tea. I'm actually having mint tea right now as we talk. It is so good for relaxing you and winding down your day. I would advise you to take some hot chocolate, throw in some marshmallows in there, some little milk, have your coffee, have your comfort meals, your mandazis, your pastries, and just enjoy being indoors and being warm. Please make good decisions. You all know how this weather has us trivializing some of the things that we stand for. Anyway, so today's topic is something that I never thought would we would be influenced to talk about. So I saw a particular tweet today, and we all know that Kenyans are savage on Twitter. We leave no crumbs. When we come for you, we come for everything, including you, your tribe, your ancestors. Like, Kenyans on Twitter have no filter, no chills. They just do what they do, and I feel like they get even more creative with insults. However, today I saw a particular tweet that was shared on Instagram. So I am not I'm not on Twitter. I don't think my fragile heart can handle the kind of roughness that exists there. I, however, get to see a number of tweets sometimes if my friends share them on their timelines on Instagram, or if they share it on their WhatsApp, because some things are just too juicy to just read for yourself and keep to yourself. So people will of course take screenshots and share. They can share in groups. Sometimes I have a friend of mine who we love to goof a lot and share a lot of funny content. So they'll always send me anything funny or trivial or just weird or even sad that they come across. So this particular tweet was from a guy, I presume, a man, and he was talking about this festival. There's this really cool festival that happened this weekend. I wish I would have gone, but I don't know. I feel like age is catching up with me. But the more I even grow older, the more I want to be outside. So I'm definitely trying to make a point to get outside more. Go out more, mingle more, go into these festivals, etc. So there was this festival that was happening this weekend, and so this guy, I'm going to paraphrase the tweet, right? And this guy was saying, "Wow, a team." He proceeded to say that I think I bagged the most bare minimum chick in Nairobi. It's not until you marry that you realize that you don't have any taste in women. And then he proceeded to say, Ati, Wasi, Nairobi has a lot of hot women. And he said something to the tune of, mine doesn't even have sex appeal. It's like I'm living with a pet. Yo. First of all, pull up, pause, rewind. Don't even rewind. Let's just pause for a moment. Tell me why you're referring to your wife, talking about it feels like I'm living with a pet. Hey, what? I'm struggling. I'm struggling to recover from that tweet. I think when I read that tweet, it validated a lot of things that have been going on in my head, a lot of hard conversations that I have been having with my family and my very close friends. And I thought I wanted to bring that conversation here so that we can be able to talk and unpack. And the title of today's episode is What Happened? It's a feeling that I have had over time, and I feel like now would be a good time to share. I feel like over time, relationships are becoming incredibly transactional. It's like when someone gets with another person, it's like they're out to get something, it's for them to look good. And I don't know if my idea of love and relationship is distorted by the endless cassettes and CDs and renditions of Boys to Men songs that I have had, including them themselves sing their own songs that they composed, and the endless, replays of Celine Dion and all of that. And also just my own personal idea of what love looked like to me. And I don't know about you, but the good book says love is kind, love is patient. Love is not mean, love is not puffed up, it knows no pride. But the way we are moving in these streets, talking about I love you and that's my girl and that's my man, and the way we talk about our partners and how we move, sometimes generally contradicts, the whole essence and purpose of love and relationships and all of that. Now, don't get me wrong. I know some of you will immediately jump onto the defense and be like, me, my relationship is not like that. My relationship is good. My person loves me and I love them back. And we're all, we're out here trying to be the best version of each other that we can be and support each other in every way, shape, and form. So when we talk about this, it's not that the majority of the relationships are bad and everyone is just doing badly and everyone is out to get everyone and there are no genuine relationships out there. Truly, they are. There are people who I look at who could be dating or could be married or could be getting to know each other, and there's just something about that beautiful, raw, intentional, pure kind of love. The hopeless romantic in me is really shouting today. So I would like for us to unpack a number of things, guys. First of all, how did we get here? That we go into a space where we see a lot of pretty women and men, because women are not blind. We see the fine brothers too. And I was just wondering, where do we draw the line? Because it's okay. In Kiswahili, there's a saying that says that macho haina pazia, like your eyes have no curtains. And so it's okay if you spot, a beautiful girl and you compliment her. It's okay if you spot a beautiful man, a hot man, and you compliment him because probably he's handsome or he has a nice height or he's all that. And for a moment, you just like pause and appreciate God's good creation and proceed with your life. The problem comes in when you pursue it. The problem comes in when you start feeling like, why am I with you? And I'm seeing a lot of hot things running out here. Now that starts to become a problem. And I think we're developing this insatiable attitude that I don't know where it's coming from. And it's in many aspects of life. It could be in the money aspect, it could be in the career aspect, but this thing is trickling down to our relationships. And I'm wondering, where are the days when someone would spot someone and they would feel attracted to them and they would be intentional about getting to know them, and then over time they decide whether they want to form a relationship or they want to take things to the next level, and it's just just hierarchy after hierarchy, and you people might end up married or being like long-term life partners. And so I just want to pose a question and ask, what is it that is causing us to move in relationships with so much calculated energy, and it's like we're always on edge and always so cautious? Truthfully, I think for me, even as I address my own personal trauma in terms of relationships, it's just the fear of generally being hurt and also the fear of clowning. Because, well, first of all, let me tell you, the way we have clowned in these streets. There was a time I was dressed like a clown stroke elf. I had my red nose, I had my wig, my face was beat. I had my white makeup on. I was wearing my clown suit. I even had those shoes that look like for elves. I was really clowning in the streets. And one thing that I know personally for me and for a lot of people really is that love sometimes can really blind logic for you. So when you're in love with someone, you generally um want to always pick and choose the best aspects of them, how they show up at their best. And this is a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing, because sometimes it makes you blind to red flags. Maybe there are certain things that they're doing that in the long run could cause issues for you or could be an issue for you, but you end up not paying attention to that, and you're just like, it's okay, he'll change, that's a small thing. And then the small things become bigger and bigger, and then now before you know it, it's an issue. And so I just want to say, guys, that love is a gamble and nothing in life is ever quite guaranteed. But one thing I know about life is people with pure hearts and pure intentions always win. They always win. And another thing, as adults, because I want to believe that those are the people who are coming into romantic relationships like that, is we need to learn to communicate. If you see someone that you're attracted to, you guys are talking, you're not sure where this is headed, I think feedback is always so important. Say, yo, I'm really enjoying your company. I really feel like I want to get to know you and see where it goes. If your intention is just to smash and pass, you need to communicate that as well. If you're raggedy and tired and haggard and just all the way, knocked, like you're tired of the dating scene and you're feeling jaded in every way, shape, and form, and you're just like, the next relationship just better be permanent. I'm just looking to marry, I'm looking to settle down, I'm done with these rough streets of dating. You need to communicate that as well. So if you meet someone, or you're um intentionally seeking a lifelong partner, and you find that you come across someone who you're getting along with, you love, they tickle your fancy, you want to get to know them, I think it's important that you communicate that. Communicating what it is that our intentions are and what's going on in our heads and our hearts really helps to manage expectations. It allows the other person to know how it is that they're going to relate to you. It allows them to know, low key or high key, what your expectations are, some of the reasons that you do what you do. Because, for instance, I'll give you an example. If someone is just looking to hang out with you every now and then, perhaps smash every now and then, and you're here waiting for good morning and good night texts and texts for how was your day, and you're waiting for flowers to be delivered in the office, and this person is really genuinely just trying to have a good time when they're free, but the fact that they've not communicated that, and you're here thinking you're building a relationship, can be an issue. And I feel like it goes for both ways. I think as women, we're just generally very vocal and good at expressing our emotions and what it is that we're going through. And so oftentimes when we come out of a relationship where we are hurt, because we won't shy away from saying it, we'll say it, so and so hurt me, or so and so, let me just sip my tea, or so and so hurt my feelings, or so and so did this. um Oftentimes than not, it's the man that comes out as the villain, or your other partner that could come out as a villain. You'll find that in a lot of relationship dynamics, there's always the vocal and the loud and the expressive one, and then there's the calm one, which is a dynamic that a lot of people tend to attract, right? um Imagine as a grown person, as you just go through life and hope to find true love, you need to be willing to heal and work through your trauma, because your past partner is not your current partner. They're different people. How you experienced your past relationship could, in if you don't see the issues and find the lessons in it and move on from it, could easily influence a new relationship that you're coming into. Influence, what is that? It could easily influence, imagine I said that, it could easily influence a relationship that you're coming into. um I think a lot of us are generally just scared of being hurt. But like I said before, love is a gamble. Just think of the times when you were trying out something and you knew there was a possibility of failing, but you also knew there's a possibility of excelling in ways that you couldn't even imagine. And I don't, that there are those relationships that could be incredibly toxic, and there are, and I'm not even going to sit here and invalidate anyone who's had that kind of experience. But I think relationships also have their ups and downs. So the times when things are really good and the times when things are rocky. However, we just need to learn to bear our souls bare. Get it? So come as bare and as honest and as vulnerable as you possibly can be. I said it before and I'll say it again. There's a beauty that comes with vulnerability that makes you form a connection with your significant other that you would never have experienced if you're not vulnerable. Vulnerability brings truth. Vulnerability brings comes with honesty. Vulnerability helps you realize that your other person can be your safe space. And I really refuse to push this narrative where we want to turn relationships into transactions. So you're thinking, I need more money. I need a more stable place to stay. I need this and I need that. So I'm going to be in a relationship with this person so that they can fulfill that need. What happened to when we used to think, I genuinely love this person. I want to get to know this person. This person is this person just melts my heart. This person just makes me feel good. This person is someone I connect to. This person understands me on a different level. When did that leave from becoming the basis of relationships to just us feeling like I'm on a mission to conquer and divide? So I'm going to smash like 40 people before I settle down. Or I don't, I'm not going to let my guard down. I'm not going to tell this person how I truly feel. And sometimes you'll find relationships where people have gone back and forth, perhaps even for years, disrespected each other because someone has refused to let their guard down and just be honest and be vulnerable and allow themselves to be seen. And I think because of the hurt that we've all generally experienced, both men and women, because I'm not going to sit here and start bad mouthing the brothers, because I know they'll also be moving dirty in these streets and just doing us wrong in every shape and form. But even us women, we're not an exception. There's some of us who are really we are representing daughters of Jezebel well. And then of course there's the sons of Herod who stay doing the most. And I do realize that over time, we always throw statements like men are trash, and just having subtle jokes about men will disappoint you and men will do this and men will do that. But women also equally doing the same thing. That's why you find quotes for people, things like, oh, daughters of Jezebel, I don't know, hell hath no fury. I do genuinely and sincerely hope there can be a time when, if we were ever in a situation where we were hurt and certain things happened that really put us in a place of hurt and pain, that we can find a way to heal from that and allow ourselves to constantly and continuously experience love from a very pure and raw and just honest form. I don't think we get to benefit from being catty or for being over defensive or just from being over protective of our hearts. And don't get me wrong, it's good to know yourself. It's good to know what your boundaries are. It's good to know what it is that you can forgive and what you can't. It's good to know what works for you and what doesn't. But when does it get to a point where you're not even like when you look at yourself and then you look at yourself in your relationship, you don't even recognize that person? That shouldn't be you. And so if you're listening to this, I don't know how far gone relationships have taken you to. And mine is just to always say that we need to, just seek help, because we owe it to ourselves to heal and live better lives. I don't know what last month was looking like. I don't know what 2-3 years ago was looking like. You could have cheated. You could have been cheated on. You could have been the cheatee or the cheater. I don't know. But we all need to come from a point where we can allow ourselves to be vulnerable and also just connect with each other from a point of honesty. Hurt people hurt people. I know that. I've recently gone through a series of very tough experiences. And even today in the office, something happened and I said something that was a bit mean. And one of my colleagues called it out, but in a very subtle and loving way. And I can see that because I'm in a space where I'm processing a lot of things, but I'm also in a space where I'm transitioning from something to another. So sometimes I find that I get angsty, I get upset, and I might do or say things that I ordinarily would not be proud of when I look back and think about it an hour or two later, and I'm just like, hey, it's the overreaction for me. So when you're in a space where you're hurt and you're bitter and you're angry, that's okay. All those are normal emotions to feel, especially if it's coming from betrayal or something that your loved one has done to you that wasn't good and that didn't sit well with you. Perhaps they broke a boundary. Like, I don't know, they could have done so many things that didn't sit well with you. But bitterness and anger and pain can only serve you for so long. Yeah. And then after some point, it's like, okay, I've allowed myself to feel that. So how do I heal and feel better? Not for other people so they can experience you at your optimum, which would be good, but even more so for yourself, so that you can find peace and enjoy just existing and being a good human being. Let's also learn to talk to our loved ones with compassion. When we talk to them, let's affirm them. Let's constantly, I could never get tired of saying this, because one thing about me, when I love hard, and I laugh out loud as well. So I affirm, I remind, and I just really let the other person know that, you know what, I'm choosing you, you're my person, I have love for you, and all of that. It takes nothing from you. Like, it could even sound like just a few words, but when those words land to your partner, you have no idea what a beautiful effect it has. Imagine me receiving, like some just beautiful words of affirmation, being told, you know what, I'm so happy with what we have going on, I thank God for you, I prayed for you today, or you're incredible. We really underestimate the power of affirmations. And another thing that I really feel that we could do better when we're in relationships is learning to talk to each other with respect. Now, don't, hey, let me tell you, I know there are times that someone can really act your spirit. It's like they're on a mission to just awaken every demon, including the ones that are really, really dead, and you don't even know where you buried them. So in such situations, it's okay. It's okay to be angry. Sometimes we'll raise our voices without knowing. Sometimes we'll really overexpress ourselves. But find it in you to address the partner that you chose and that you pursued with a bit of respect. I think there are things that are common. Like, it's just basic human decency. For me, it's just being respectful, how you talk to people, how you address people, your tone of voice, the words that you use, and just move from a point of respect with your significant other, whether it's you're in a season where you're in a good space or whether you're in a season where you're in a bad space. Last but not least, you guys, we really need to heal. Sometimes how we treat people is a true form and a true manifestation of how we feel deep down. If you're overly mean, always on edge, trying to cause havoc and conflict every turn, the common denominator in your relationships is you. So perhaps you need to take time off and work on yourself. I know that that's something that I constantly do a lot, because I'm generally a very spicy and feisty person, but I'm also deeply reflective. And so there are times when I have been in situations with my significant other or the people that I dated in the past that I wasn't quite proud of how I made things turn out. But even over time, as I learned to just small tips of conflict resolution, and trying to learn how to pass your point across without necessarily harming the other person, or when the other person says something and they really hit below the belt, just learning how to navigate that, and sometimes covering things with love. The good book, the Bible, says love covers a multitude of sin. I like to think of relationships as safe spaces. I said this before and I'll say it again. That's when you show up in your relationship, you don't need to be anyone but yourself. And it should be a space where you feel like it's giving come as you are. It's giving I love you anyway. It's giving We are all messy in our different ways, but I'm with you and I am for you and I am stuck with you, and I'm just like, I'm really going to take you through this. Let's find it in ourselves to be honest, to be vulnerable. And I hope that, one story at a time, we can try and change the narrative of love for our children. Let them know that there's pure, genuine, raw love that can love you in every circumstance, shape, or form. However, life also happened. Guys, what happened to us? What happened to us? And how can we make sure that when we go back into relationships and do, all these things that we are doing, just to be able to perhaps find a life partner, or really just find a partner, that we will be at a point where we find and seek healing and then move in a more kind, respectful, and gentle manner. Thank you so much for listening to me. I would really appreciate your feedback on this particular episode. Tell me, what are some of the things that you feel we can do to be able to just learn to just talk to each other well in relationships, to be able to have a nice relationship dynamic where you're winning and you're just doing really well at your own individual projects and the things that you do aside and apart individually. It's never easy, but it can be done. Let's change the love story at a time, one hug at a time, one smile at a time, one instance of extending grace. And you're just sitting there thinking, where? Extending grace is giving love to even those people who would be deemed, in quotation marks, undeserving. We are all deserving of God's love and goodness. And I hope you find that. If you're just coming out of a breakup, if something happened and you and your significant other are beefing, I hope you find love, I hope you find health, and I hope you find healing, and I hope things get better. Sending you love and light. I will see you on the next one. Let's change this narrative. Let's change the love stories that we have around us. One decision, one good decision at a time. Bye bye. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode and being part of my journey. I would love to hear from you. Find me on Instagram at Yvette Wanzu. Find me on Gmail at tewanzu@gmail.com. Feel free to write to me so that we can interact and get to know each other a little bit better. Thank you so much for being part of my journey and for walking with me and doing this thing called life with me. See, we just do life together. Have a good one. Sending you love and light, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.